This is another video brought to you by the Ichiban Productions. Like, comment, subscribe. So welcome everyone, happy days are here again. We're back with another video. This time I wouldn't say it's so much of a review, it's more of a problem solving how-to guide. And if you've seen my channel, you know I love the Steam Deck, right? I was a bit of a cheapskate because I was skeptical at first and got the 64GB model. I thought, that'll be fine because I'll get myself a micro SD, 1TB from Amazon, all my problems would be solved. However, look at the disgrace. That's the internal drive. Look at that yellow line. That is outrageous. That is basically all the shader data and the compatibility data for the games that are on the SD card. I didn't realise that it's going to use the internal memory to do that. Anyway, mine's constantly coming up with an error saying it's too full. And I don't know about you. I could delete games and all that sort of stuff. But I don't want to do that. I want to have loads of games to play whenever I like, as much as I like, and all that sort of stuff. I don't want you telling me that I can't do that. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to invest in an internal SSD. It is a Western Digital's one. It's 1TB. I'll link it in the comment section below. If you're going to do this swap for yourself, you're going to need to make sure you get the right SSD. Again, not any one will fit. You don't want a massive one. It's got to be a small one. I could only find two. One from Saban. Again, I'll link that in the comment section. And then one from Western Digital. I'm in the UK here. I got it from scan.co.uk. It came next day delivery, which was free. It was only £100. I mean, that's a crazy bargain. And so this video is basically to show you how can you do it and to show you that anybody can do it. So just follow my guide and you'll be absolutely fine. So before you start, what are you actually going to need? Obviously, you're going to need your SSD drive. You don't need 1TB. I just went for that because I wanted to not have to do this again and again and again. You're going to need yourself some external storage to create a recovery image of the Steam Deck OS. Again, appearing on the screen should be the instructions. It's straight from the Steam website, but I'll link it in the comments below so you're able to do it for yourself. If I can do it, you can do it. You just need to download a bit of software that, again, it recommends on the Steam website. Put it on the flash drive, and away you go. If you're going to use a USB-A one, though, you're going to need some sort of hub to plug it into the USB-C. I'm going to try using the Steam Deck's official dock, because fast transfer USB, it also should be okay. I plugged this in before you start the process to make sure this is up to date. Yeah, so plug it in to get it up to date. So the other thing you're going to need is you're going to need probably somewhere to store the screws. I got myself a little case to put the screws in there so they don't go missing. Be careful to use the same ones that come out. You're also going to need like some screwdriver stuff. I went and bought them from Amazon. I bought this little set here. It's the typical one, you see it all over the place. And here it's got some tools that might be useful. You've got yourself a pliers to try and gouge the case open. Gouge isn't the right word, you can gently do it with this. But these tools will make it a lot easier instead of trying to use a screwdriver. Because if you're trying to wedge that apart with a screwdriver, you're going to scratch it. We've also got these bits. I don't think they're great quality, but I did also want these picks as well. Some people love them, some people hate them. That for me is going to help me do that. The other tools I'm going to use, in case you're interested, is I got myself Lidl's finest screwdriver set. Now these screwdrivers look a little bit like this. They're not magnetized or anything, but they are really good quality for the price. So I've got all the equipment. So what's next? Step one, it is an obvious one. You got to turn your Steam Deck off. Make sure it is fully powered off. You don't want to be messing about with that. So shut it down. Shut down, and then once it's fully shut down, you're going to need to take out the micro SD card. If you don't do that, I've seen people actually snap their micro SD card when they try to get the case off. So make sure it's off, fully off 100% before you start, and remove the card. Next up, we flip around, reversed it. I put a nice little soft in there so that it doesn't damage the other side of it. You're going to need to remove the 8 screws on the back. You've got 4 around here and you've got 4 in the middle. These are smaller ones in the middle than the outside ones. So if I were you, I would remove them and make sure which one goes in which hole. I have heard about people over tightening them when you put them back in. So remove them. Remember which goes in which hole. It shouldn't make too much of a difference for the big ones and then the small ones. But you don't want to put the big ones in the small ones. Boom, cheeky cut. Okay, we've taken the screws out. Next is the most difficult part in my opinion. You're going to need to pry open the case. Now, I would highly recommend going from one of the corners and prying your way through. I'm going to do it off camera because it'd be way too nervous to try and do it on camera, but I know you can do it. Start at the corner, work your way around. Don't pull it, don't force it. Definitely don't use a screwdriver. You're going to want something delicate to make sure you're not damaging the case. Take your time. It's probably the most difficult part. I'll see you in a second. Just to help you guys out, I did start here. I made a little tiny clip, and then can you see that it's slowly started to separate here? So all we need to do is go around gently, pop in all the way around, no force, remember, gentle, gentle, gentle to take the back off. Boom, and I'm back. So yes, I've slowly pried off the back. and it just lifts off gently. Again, a little bit of force, and there we go. We got ourselves the inner workings of the Steam Deck. Don't go mental and start smashing stuff. So what comes up next? Next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take off the silver metal heatsink thing here. There are screws in the top corner, one. I think there's two, and then there's one underneath that piece of silver sticker. So gently pull that back. 1, 2, 3. They need to come off next. Again, I'm going to pause it because I don't want to wreck it live on cam. So I made a tiny bit of a mess of that, but gently pull that back, and that's the third screw. So 1, 2, 3, get them out. So those screws are out. It's time to lift off the silver plate. There we go, very gently it is. So we got ourselves next. We got the SSD down there, but you don't want to be touching that yet. Next thing you need to do is you need to unplug the power because you don't want to be hot swapping that. So we're going to need to slowly but surely pry that out there. That there. You don't want to pull it. You don't want to do it difficult or, you know, force it or gentle. Again, some people like using the picks. If you've got a little bit of a fingernail and you're feeling confident, just gently pull that out. So next thing, detach the battery power. Okay, so that was one of the more tricky things I felt because it was quite wedged in because of the cable, but I did gently get it out. Next thing you're going to need to do is, they always say that what you need to try and do is press and hold the power button to try and make sure you cycle any power out the system. So press and hold the power a few times to make sure any residual power has gone. Press and hold it for a few seconds, do it a few times, then the power's gone. Next bit, I don't know, you got a right swell in here. So next thing we need to do is we need to take out the existing SSD or the memory storage, which is here. So to do that, we're going to need to remove that little black screw there. Are you ready? Let's do it. So it's been unscrewed now, and the memory should be able to just pull out like this. Next thing you want to do is you want to slowly but surely take off the shielding here. So I took off the shielding. That would be useful to put onto the new one. So just slide it off. Pop that to one side. It's time to get the new one and put the shielding on. So next thing, we've got the new one here, which is the Western Digital one. Put the shielding back over it. It's a bit tighter than I was expecting. I'm going to do this off camera so I can do it carefully. Okay, so it was a bit too tight to go on it. So what I did is I slowly peeled it off. It's like a sticker, so I peeled from the top corner and put it back in. So next thing we need to do is reconstruct this. So it needs to go back into the SSD slot and screw it down. So I'll be right back. And there we go, the hard work is done. So what we need to do is reconstruct everything back up. So plug the power supply back in, put the metal shield back over the top, screw the screws back in, seal it back up, clip the back on, and screw in the things. I might do a little bit of a montage of steps at a time, but hopefully we'll just get straight back to it, and we'll actually get the install of the OS system. Power's back in. That was much easier than taking it out. Metal shield's back on. Remember, never over screw the screws. I know it's obvious. Let's put that sticker back over, and we should be ready to connect the back and put the other screws back in place. So the back is back on. Anyway, the back's back on. Don't force it. Gently click it down. Gently press it down, and it should all clip into place. Last but not least, you've got to get the screws back in. So let's get the screws back in and get to the next stage. So with the hard bit done, now we've just got the time-consuming bit of reinstalling the Steam OS. So to do that, what you need to make sure is you've got the image on a flash drive or something like that. Again, remember, links in description for the Steam website how to do this. Plug it in. Ideally, you'd want a USB-C memory stick, but I'm going to go through the dock. I mean, hopefully this will work. Then what you do is you press hold minus, press it on, and keep holding minus until the boot disk shows. So let me show you what that looks like. So as soon as you hear that noise, you can let go of the power button, but my goodness, that took ages. I'm not gonna lie, that panicked me. So next thing we need to do is we need to get from the select the USB drive. Again, my SanDisk is showing. So if we click out, it should start working. However, this is going to take a bit of time. I think it's at least 5 minutes, so I'm going to pause the video here. I'll come back when the next bit's done. You'll know it'll be done because it should load up into desktop mode. So I'll be right back. Boom, and we're back. It didn't take 5 minutes, it's quicker than that. However, we get to this stage here. Now, sometimes the trackpad will work for some people. I've read this online, and other people's it won't work. So if it doesn't work, don't worry. You know, it's just one of those things. You can use the touchpad as well. That's absolutely fine. So if yours is working, that's fine. If it's not, that's okay. But what you want to do is you want to press this once. Don't double tap. Just press it once. And then it should load up. And then it says, do you want to reimage the device? Yes, I want to reimage the device. So let's go down and proceed. Now, this is going to take a while. And now I've seen somewhere saying this is going to take up to 45 minutes. I really hope and pray it doesn't take that long because my insides isn't going to take that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and ignore it. Just let it do its own magic and we'll come back. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll come right back. Wow, that was so much quicker than I was expecting. We got ourselves here. Reimaging complete. Proceed to reboot Steam Deck now. Let's proceed to... whoa. Reboot. Oh, hopefully this has gone well. You know, I don't want to jinx it. It's gone pretty well so far. So let's see, where do we end up in a second. There we go. Reboot complete. And we're back with a fresh Steam Deck ready to be, set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to come back once I've set it all up and it's good to go, just to prove to you that there should be 1 terabyte of memory in there. If they're not, scan, you've robbed me blind. But overall, I'm very impressed so far. So, did it actually work? 23 minutes later, and I put the SD card back in. We got all the things we wanted back and ready to go. So we got the internal one, which is 1 terabyte now, up from that measly 64 gigabytes. And the just to say, the SD card's working. My games are back. They're ready to go. All I'm going to need to do is reboot and download all the shader cache, which is going to take ages, and what was filling up originally. But if you think about it, 64 gigs was being filled. Look at this, a beautiful 1 terabyte. Totally worth doing, highly recommended. If I can do it, there's absolutely no reason why you can't do it. I'll link everything you need below in the comments, so try it out for yourself. One final thing I will say, the boot up is so much faster off an SSD. I mean, if you've got the 64 gig and you turn it on, you know what I'm talking about. It takes ages. It is so much quicker. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a cheeky thumbs up. That means more people can see the video and make informed decision about whether this is the right thing for them. I assure you it is. You have nothing to be afraid of. If I can do it, you can do it. If you got any comments, post them in the comment section below. I reply to each and every comment. I love engaging with my community. Honestly, it means so much to me to think that people actually watch my videos. It helps them out. I try and comment on other people's videos because they help me out. Go on, post something. It'll mean a lot to me. But if you really want to make my day, and support a independent YouTuber trying to get through the world to 1,000 subscribers, press that subscribe button. Honestly, it would be a huge thing to me if you could just press that button. It'll only take a second. One day I'll get to 1,000 and get some of that sweet YouTube money. But that's not really what I'm doing it for. I'm doing this to produce content for people like me who want to know these things. So hopefully it meant something to you. And you know what I'm going to say. Look after yourselves. Take care of the people around you. And most importantly, stay out of trouble.